Alright, let's get Garf out of here. Let's get going. Today we'll be checking out a bunch of different starrail stuff, but definitely focusing mostly on Amphoreus, because, well, it's going to be a little while until we return, either in the main story or me catching up on my list of quests to do in starrail. But how are you guys all doing today? My name is Ben. Hope you're all having a great day, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of lore. It's gonna be a lot of me talking, voice acting, doing some fun stuff there. Probably maybe an hour and a half or so, but I've been wanting to do this for a little while, but just been busy between streams and IRL, that sort of stuff. Oh, the boring stuff of life. But yeah, we're back into it. Also partially doing this because live stream on Friday looks like we're going back to Penacony, which can't wait to see what happens there with the Dahlia Constance. And we'll come up next. Maybe we'll get hints at the rest of Everflame mentioned, besides Duke Inferno survived. Because yeah, Duke Inferno, yeah, I think he got wiped out by Acheron for sure. Sorry, here, there we go. But yeah, I wanted to start off with a letter, an email you get when you defeat Iron Tomb and do Amphoreus's final arc. I think it's really interesting, it's really cool. I grabbed the rewards, it's about to expire. I wish there was a way to permanently save more of your mail, because then you could save stuff like the letter from Castris and a bunch of other stuff like that, but it's fine. It would just be something that would be nice in the future. But let's get going. I'm gonna get a drink before I do my Xandar voice. To the variables of the experiment, Xandar's final question was if aeons and humans shared a similar wisdom. As the greatest problem child, the first genius, had many achievements that were byproducts of curiosity. I shall not comment on the experiment itself, but like Kyrgyz already has an answer. He left a final question for you in the system's backend, and I shall keep on searching. Another Xandar. So out of the 9, well, the other 8 sent a message going, hey, there's a little secret, which I would assume is within as I've written. So we'll look around for it there, and of course, as we check things out, if there's anything that I miss along the way, you guys can absolutely feel free to tell me in the comments, and I'll be sure to hit it. Like I said, probably when I'm going back through a bunch of quests from throughout the game, and once I reach Amphoreus, check there. What's this? What's this? A bit of a follow-up. Hey, Bootail and Rappa. They did come to help out. We heard all the factions coming to help against Iron Tomb, and one of them was most definitely the Galaxy Rangers. Sorry, just making sure everything's looking good, working well for you guys. Yeah, okay. We have to probe around in deep space and found Trailblazer and Dawn Hung? Little things really that impressive? Ninja Girl? Just a shot of fucking Boothill's ass. So funny. Ninja tech device. Blessed by great Thaunt. The ultra-low frequency electric waves. Oh, lot of pretty wubbaboo. Found him. Drop the act. Played it well. Think you are, Brother Hanu. Pass as a Galaxy Ranger. What's going on here with Rappa? Question mark. Oh, is it Sparkle? Uh-oh. Someone who takes on forms? We know a certain mischief maker who loves to do that. Sparkle?
Turn on me for no reason. Traitorous monkey ninja. Path of heretics.
Silver gun, Shura. Yeah, he's like, Rappa would never call me by anything else. That's how he knows. It's not Rappa. Her nicknames. Yep, it was Sparkle. Also, that's so funny. Because he pointed at Rappa's head, he would have just missed Sparkle anyway. Because short, small.
Putting over-the-top characters into the script. Mysterious ninja girl. Possible to play. Madman.
Hanabi. JP name. Real reason for being here. Love to see Sparkle though, it's been such a long time. So we see more of her in the future.
Bad intentions. Watch a show. Shuffle a few cards. Two prized actors. Confine them. Share the stage with me.
Ooh. We hopping on stage with you in the future? That would be cool. If Sparkle was a major player, rather than a side character watching on. Don't even care. Threatening the whole universe. Fool's wisdom isn't all that deep.
Righteous flag. Sideball jabs. No motives of your own. Involving the gods. Freeing that broken-legged wolf.
Broken-legged wolf. Who else knows about that?
Just me.
Broken-legged wolf. Wolf. He's not talking about Shinjo Wolf, is he? Because he was totally crushed by Fei Xiao.
Disturbing that living legend.
Living legend. So not broken-legged wolf.
Come back empty-handed.
I'm going to have to keep an ear out for that. You little save Trailblazer Don Hung. Get out of here. Leave the boss alone. Boss. Broken-legged wolf. Is this like the head of the Galaxy Rangers? Not Lon, obviously. But, that's very interesting. Building it up.
Director Sparkle's next script. Gray hair.
Trailblazer. Yet again, the main character. The moon waxes beneath blooming sakura. Some hints here through these memory bubbles. Let's check these out then, and then we'll go check an area I should have checked at the end of my Amphoreus stream, but I was honestly just so tired and worn emotionally. But we'll definitely go here, which I also have some comments on that and how Amphoreus looks on the map now. Jade and Himiko.
Express crew led the formation and saved civilization from destruction.
Kind of a big deal. Hi, Himiko.
Express crew support. Stayed on course. Marketing development department. Extends its great, its deepest thanks.
戦略投資部が災害対策で尽力してくれたことは
Did not go
世界中の
unnoticed.
皆が知るところ
Did
でしょう。
not go unnoticed.
ただ最近は外敵の
To
駆
mature
除や
women,
災
I'm
害
like,
支援以
let
外
me
に
figure out
も
voices for
何
each.
やら忙しくしてるようね。
Possess relief in holding the line. Hint full. Something else.
Getting different hints at where the story will go through these
今回の
conversations.
銀河連合軍の凱旋
Reveal
は
something truly
全宇宙が
precious.
団結して壊滅勢力に立ち向かえる可能性を示してくれたわ。
Giving some
戦略投資部で
inspiration.
は今回の戦いで得た経験を分
At
析
the
し
crisis,
次の
a
危機が
system
訪れ
ready
る前に
to respond.
効果的な災害
They
対
know
応
what they
シ
do.
ステムを
They were doing
確
with
立し
these
ようとしている
subtitle placements.
カンパニーが率先して壊滅に対する防衛線を築いてくれ
Establishing
れ
a
ば
true front line.
それは全ての文明にとっての希望の光となるでしょうね。
Very diplomatic right now.
そのためにも
Continue to
請求
support
列車の支援は
the
欠かせ
Astro
ないものよ。
Express. We will
鉄棒
be
の
in
件が
touch
落
again.
ち着いたら
Right. I remember there's an
姫
implication
子さんに
of
連絡させて
kind
も
of
らうわ。
you owe us for us helping you this time. So, who knows when or what they'll cash in. Ah, hello. Old friends.
ケイゲン将軍、
Hmm.
久しぶりね。
Shinjo.
フゲンさんは無事に
Fushuan
戻られたか
returned
しら。
safely.
彼女は今回
Yeah.
本当に死の淵をさまよったようだ
A
よ。
near death experience this time.
砲丸は
Omnitia
鉄棒が
foresaw
放つ
Iron
万
Doom's
物を消し去
obliterated
る一撃
strike.
を目にし、
No
それは
avoiding it,
避けようのない
no
ものだ。
surviving it.
生き残る見込みは皆無だと告げた。
しかし、そ
Exact
れと同時
moment.
に銃刀将軍から
Seer strategist sent a
巨帝す
message.
でに敗れ、
Empty fortune is
結
cracked
構
open.
今や明らか
Fate can now be
そういう知
decided.
らせが届いた。
Hmm.
ただ
Things
それ
changed.
だけしか言ってくれなかった
We
が。
lost contact.
なん
That'll be
と
Zhao
わかり
Guang,
にくい
right? Seer
君の姉
strategist.
弟子も
So
もう少し詳しく
cryptic.
説明してくれればいい
Brilliant
も
senior
のを。
soror.
おかげで気が気
Pacing
じゃ
all
なかった。
night.
気が気じゃなかった。
Yeah, you were relaxed. You were sleeping
嘘
away.
をついています
Stop lying.
No need to be
そう
upset.
目くじらを立てないでくれ。
Cryptic
将
talk.
軍にはこういうのが
Territory
必
of
要
being
な
a
んだ。
general.
Stood firm in this battle.
先週の兵たちは
Courage and
危険な
sacrifice
状況に
deserve
置かれながらも
recognition.
一歩も引かなかった。彼らの犠牲と貢献は報われるべきだわ。同盟が必要とする人滅の金
The
色の
golden
血は
blood of ruin the Alliance
Nana
needs,
Shitoが
and the Nameless's hands,
それはオン
taken
パ
by
ラ
the
スの
hero
英雄
Castellana,
カスライナが
directly
命を
from
賭して
Nanook.
ナヌーク
Still
から手に入れたもの
insane.
よ。
I will always say the analogy that people were using was incorrect. This is not as if you're typing up a story or fan fiction and the character comes out of the screen and hits you. It's what if that character came out of the screen and then went after whatever god or gods you believe in. Like, conceptually, beyond anything you could imagine. I was also going to say, I'll save something else for the end of this
彼は
conversation
もうこの世にいないけど、
about the Express crew.
彼の記憶の
No
かけらに
longer
触れ
part
る
of
ことが
this
できるわ。
world. Reach a fragment of his memory.
おそらくカスライナは
Entrust the golden blood to an ally.
スイカも辞さなかった盟友
Went
に
to great lengths.
この金色の血
Or
を
some
託
of
し
it
たい
at
と
least.
願うでしょう。
そうか。先週同盟を代表し、
Very well.
オンパロスという世
Offer our
界
deepest
とその
respect.
偉大なる英
World
雄
of Amphoreus and her brave, noble heroes.
心より敬意を表する。たとえ一瞬のことだったとしても
Strike an Aeon as a mortal.
人の身でアイオンに傷を負わせた偉業は
I think it was
宇宙
Ion.
に永
I
遠に
remember
刻
them
ま
saying
れ
it
る
in
べき
JP.
功績だ。
Ion as a mortal. For a fleeting instant. Etched into the stars, remembered forever. True. It is absolutely nuts. Okay, I wanted to say about the Express crew. I really hope that we see SPs in the future for Welt and Amiko. I would just love that so much. We've gotten the rest of the crew. Some of them multiple times now, looking at you, Danong. But I would really like to see if we get a story in the future where Wout or Himiko is also a focus, to get both of them in there. You know, either one of them gain an SP. Maybe next year. What's going on here?
Perfect timing. We just opened the space station souvenirs.
Where are the space station souvenirs? I've seen so many of these things.
Yeah, Asta bought loads of them in bulk. They still use them on the space station to this day. This one is the newest model equipped with an intelligent system they developed on the space station. Can work autonomously. It feels no different to an AI assistant.
I still drink of water, then I'll try doing a wild voice. I still think that engineer went overboard just because the Astro Express helped them out in some way. Just because the Astro Express helped them out with some stuff before, he insisted on bringing that little robot all the way to the railway platform and delivering it to the Express personally. Oh, with what? Why does that name sound familiar?
What? Do you not remember them? Trailblazer, I heard that engineers say that it was you that helped them with the robot repairs before. He was always telling us great things about you.
Oh, yeah. One of the quest chains going around the station. Man, that was so long ago.
We may have helped the space station with a few things in the past, but they were just little jobs. I really think the researchers are being too kind.
These trivial things really don't take up too much of our time. Plus, the Astro Express and the Herda space station have always maintained a good relationship. It makes sense that we help them as much as we can. It makes sense that we help them as much as we can. You all have that much time on your hands. Do you not find it irritating?
Well, what do you think a trailblazer should do then? Trailblazer?
Trailblazers save the world. Exploring new worlds is more important. Both.
I didn't realize you felt that way, Trailblazer. If you ask me, our journeys are long, and it's not like we're dealing with earth-shattering events every single day. We spend most of our time dealing with trivial matters like this.
But it is precisely these kinds of small, menial tasks that form a trailblazing expedition. I don't understand. Can't we just get someone else to do the menial jobs?
I see. So that's what you think. How about this? Why don't we do a little experiment? Why don't you go and see how the people who received help from the Astro Express are doing now? Starting with the first world you visited after boarding the Express. I think you might discover something quite unexpected.
Yeah, it's the idea of going back and checking in on the world we've been to reconnect. Himiko lightly tapped the top of the little robot to activate it.
New visitor detected. Scanning. Scanning complete. Express trail data download successfully. Navigation system engaged.
There hasn't been much data uploaded to it. You will still need a massive amount of external training. Take it with you. It will gradually grow smarter as you travel.
Destination confirmed. User information will be recorded on arrival at the target location.
Thanks? Does this mean you're exiling me? So I just go now? Is this not a bit sudden?
You can take some time to prepare before you head off. Why not get used to working with your trusty assistant first? Adaptive mode activated. Standing by. Trailblazer, there's no need to fret. Just pay attention to what you feel in your heart in each area as you go. In each area you go to, go and see just how those trivial jobs we did for people affected them. Destination has been added to to-do list. The user can activate the navigation protocol at any time.
Alright, I'll go and check it out when I get time. Okay, I'll go now then. No, when I get time. I thought this conversation might have been connected to what we did recently, but that's still cool.
If you run into any trouble, you can come back and find us anytime. Of course, if you really aren't interested at all, you can put this matter aside for now. You can always ask March and the others another time.
Oh, that's cool. Ah, quest chain. The little robot playing around. I actually wanted you to take this little robot along with you to do some field training. This way, it will become more suited to your habits. Thanks, Well.
If you run into any trouble, you can come back and find us anytime.
Then let's check another memory bubble.
ブートヒル
Ah,
危険な戦いだ
yep,
ったの
Brutal
に
Limiko.
無事なようで本当によかったわ
Born tough. I apologize to you. The Express's signal earlier.
あんたたち
Better
が
late
最
than
前線
never,
で戦う勇士はカンパニー
Way
も
you all
選
fought.
手の軍も目にし
My
てるわ
sincere thanks.
レンジャーの勇気ある助力に
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
心
remember
から感謝させてちょうだい
Broken-legged wolf. Sparkle mentioned. No need for thanks. Ain't the leader of the pack? The boss. Didn't bring many along. Showed up for this fight a personal score set with destruction. And nothing to lose. Thought pursues anything within its sights. Lawn going after abundance, but its
それに
followers.
戦いの後
and
あん
their
たとランハ
followers.
さんはあ
Was you
の子と
Miss
タンポを
Rappa
連れ
a
戻して
special
くれたでしょ
Well,
戦車組は
about that.
感謝しても
Yeah.
しきれないわ
Uh,
セプターが壊れてからオンパラスの聖域は長いこと乱れてたし
Finding
位
them
置
was
を
no
示す
simple
シグナルがあっ
task.
ても二人を見つけ出すのは簡単なことじゃなかったはずよ
being retrieved. Ninjutsu really is the real deal.
そういえばランハさ
Where
んは
is
どこ
Miss
に
Rappa?
Well, gone to help the other rangers. He has to express his message to her. Thanks, Budo. Star is silent as enigmas. It's probably checking out all the memory bubbles. Let's do as I've written next, and then we'll go visit. Check some things out. And it also changed. Some mail here. Ah, and you can switch. That's cool. This from you. Oh. The ifs. Yeah, these were the what ifs we had last time. If you are destined to become the blazing sun, sender Cyrene, recipient Demiurge. A letter to herself. Yeah, you can opt down, kitty. Oh boy. Yeah, you can go out. Oh my. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Rio. Oh, of course, kitty cat. Oh my. No, he's been good. Just hope he doesn't start mowing at the door. Ooh, he's been on my lap for a few hours now. Oh, that feels great. To just move and change positions. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. There we go. Yeah. Now, let's get back into it. This page of this page of story comes from the 570,001st eternal recurrence in an eternally peaceful Aedes Elysiae. Imagine if the prisoner of flames, subjected to ceaseless suffering, still resolved to protect himself once, pure self, even if just for once. The bulrush withered, the wheat fields burned, and the wind chimes swayed amidst the monster's roars. What if he tried to change everything at the very beginning? The scorching soil burned the young man's skin. Before losing consciousness, the last thing he saw was the tall swordsmaster in black, raising his gleaming blade amidst the black tide.
Finon, wake up. Cyrene?
The white-haired man startled awake beneath the shade of the tree. The sunlight spilling through the dense leaves stung his eyes. In his momentary daze, he mistakenly thought his childhood friend was standing right before him.
Was I hearing things? Well, I should go meet Cyrene now. Can't miss something important just because of an afternoon nap.
Finon stood up and dusted off the dirt on himself. After strapping on his sword, he walked toward the shore. Villagers greeted him along the way. "Hey, Finon, want some freshly baked bread? Don't be shy." He knew that Olivia had gotten better at baking, so he didn't hide the bright smile on his face as he jogged over and took the bread basket.
Smells great. Our grapes are in the usual spot, so why don't you go grab some too?
Piso, who was working in the wheat field nearby, straightened up. "Mr. Finon, make sure you avoid the colorful bread at the bottom of the basket. That's Olivia's new recipe. Even the little chimeras in the village didn't want a bite."
Even the little chimeras won't eat my bread?
Piso realized his mistake and rushed over. He dug out the colorful bread from the basket and stuffed it into his mouth. His eyes and mouth were all scrunched up as he struggled to swallow. Finally, he barely managed to utter a compliment. "But I love it the most." Finon doubled over with laughter.
Piso, you're in your 40s now. Stop calling me mister.
"No way. You're the one who protected Hades Alicia's peace all these years. So what if you age slower, Mr. Finon? Even when my hair turns gray and I can barely walk, I'll still call you that." "There are rumors outside the village about a war called Flame Chase raging wildly. Who knows? Aquila might come crashing down any day now."
Even if Aquila falls, I'll help hold things together for all of you.
His sincere gaze seemed to indicate this was no empty promise. After saying goodbye to Olivia and Piso, Finon continued towards the seaside. Humming a tune under his breath, he soon arrived at the dock. His childhood friend's grave lay here. Even then, even in this cycle, she has her fate.
Hey, Jack.
The man cut away the weeds around the grave with his sword, carefully wiped away the dust from the engravings on the tombstone, and blazed a bouquet before the grave. After finishing all this, he slowly took out the still warm bread from his basket, enjoying a moment of rest while gazing out at the ocean. The sea breeze suddenly turned fierce. On a nearby hill, the man glimpsed a figure in black, an old acquaintance with a sword, gazing in this direction. The white-haired man swallowed his bread and rushed towards the black-clad swordmaster. Unexpectedly this time, the figure in black didn't vanish like before, but stood their ground, waiting for his arrival. Dark waves rippled across the distant horizon. As they faced each other, the bulrush beneath the black swordmaster's feet was burning. After a while, Finon was the first to break the silence.
I've been wanting to tell you this. Thank you. Back then you drove back the black tide and protected Hades Alicii. Pisa, Livia, Pythias. All these years, we've always seen you as our deliverer.
Not a deliverer. I am but a prisoner of flames.
But I've always been on your heels,
Finon said firmly, raising the sword in his hand, which was identical to the one wielded by the black-clad swordmaster.
Look, I had it forged by a renowned grand craftsman.
The black-clad swordmaster slowly exhales.
Tell me its name.
Dawnmaker, Finon said with a laugh. He watched as the fragmented waves drew closer to the edge of the sky.
With it, I've been protecting Hades Alicii from the black tide, time and time again.
The black-clad swordmaster sighed again. muttering under his breath. Oh, yes, Cynthia. Your advice, I've taken it to heart. I try to protect my sense of self, but look, Castellana's wishes never changed. What are you talking about? The black tide is approaching from afar. Prisoner of flames. No, nameless hero. Will you join me in protecting Ade Silicii? The black-clad swordmaster gazed at the tranquil Ade Silicii before him, at the white-haired man who called him a hero. Those eyes still held their pure cornflower blue. Wouldn't hurt. After all, it's just this once. Unconsciously, he held his sword across his body as a faint flame kindled in his chest. At least for now, this flame was no longer hollow. What if instead of initiating Finon's journey, he hoped to keep his home safe? And even for that moment, rekindled his sense of self, his hope, being called a hero. It's really cool. It sucks because it just reminds us of everything they've gone through. All of the heroes Amphoreus. Run forward. Treaty. Another of the tribbies. This page of story comes from the 103rd Eternal Recurrence. 100,000th third Eternal Recurrence. A gentle blessing from the edge of the west wind. Imagine if Trivios did not shatter into 1,000 pieces, but instead ventured towards the many realms after bidding farewell to the 3 familiar companions. The first ray of lucid hour sunlight pierced through the stained glass windows of Yanisopoulos' temple, gently illuminating the red-haired girl's face. Trivios awoke from her slumber, rubbing her sleepy eyes. Ah, the 3 familiar companions.
Tribby, Trian, Trinon, you're all here? Treaty!
The 3 tiny messengers let out cheerful voices. Looking at the 3 children before her, Trivios recalled the night when she first heard Yanis's prophecy. You shall shatter, shatter, shatter. The Titan's voice paused several times before abruptly cutting off. Trivios was utterly confused. What exactly was I supposed to shatter? Instead of being told you'll shatter into 1,000 pieces or countless, you will shatter 3 times. As her thoughts drifted away, she felt a gentle tug at the ends of her hair. Looking down, she saw her long red hair curling and spreading like the branches of a flame tree, with its tips knotted together, tenderly cradling 3 children no bigger than dolls. The doll versions of Tribby, Trian, Trinon.
Treaty!
The children laughed, swinging on her hair like a playground swing. Tribio smiled too, even though their unclear speech could only pronounce the 2 syllables. Treaty. Tribios had known since childhood that they were her best playmates, the ones who understood her heart the most. However, while Tribios grew day by day, the children remained forever the same size. Over countless days and nights together, Tribby, Trian, and Trinon slowly discovered that Triti's personality was as enigmatic as the sky governed by Aquila. Every time they woke up after a night's sleep, the Triti they saw seemed like a complete stranger. Not a shattering of body, but a shattering of soul. Instead of 1,000 bodies of Tribios, it's all these different personalities or parts within her. Sometimes Tribios was the happy Triti. She imitated the rhyme her mother Mortis taught her, singing for the 3 children a variation about sailing all the way to the moon. Fly me to the moon. Sometimes Tribios became the angry Tritty. She would smash the offerings brought by the trainee priest, scream and order him to leave the temple by walking backward, simply because she mistook the ornament on the priest's waist for a cold blade used for assassination. Temperamental. But understandably so after what happened to Mortis. Sometimes Tribios was just the timid Tritty. She liked to stay in corners with a shy gaze, not good at making eye contact with children, but enjoyed watching small beetles crawl out from the corner of the wall, carefully breaking off pieces of moldy bread to feed them. And you can even say a little bit of Tribi, Trien, Trinon in those three examples we get. The children learn how to interact with different versions of Tritty, carefully remembering each Tritty's favorite things and manner of speech. They also discovered that none of the Tritty knew each other, nor were they aware of each other's existence. Why was Tritty different every day? One of the children flew past the towering temple walls that stretched beyond sight, went to the grove and brought back the cold diagnostic conclusion from a Helcolithus scholar. It's all in the mind. Just get plenty of rest and you'll be fine.
No, that's not it. Tritty is a kaleidoscope. It's like there are 1,000 Trittys inside her, and every single Tritty is our wonderful companion.
Yeah, so like I was saying, mentally split into 1,000 times rather than physically. And today's Tritty is an exceptionally gentle and somewhat melancholic Tritty. Another month of Gate had come, the festival to honor Yanis. Tribios listened to the distant laughter of the crowd, while the children gazed at her in wonder. Their young hearts suddenly realized Tritty had never left this room deep within the temple. She had no wings, nor could she open a gate to a world thousands of miles away like they could. She could only remain confined here day after day.
Tritty!
The children understood. Let us help you escape from Yanisopolis. You shall shatter, shatter, shatter. On this day, Tribios heard the Titan's prophecy once again, still unclear, as if choked by the black tide, but she already knew which direction she must take. The first ray of lucid hour's sunlight pierced through the stained glass windows of Yanisopolis Temple, shined into the chamber where Holy Maiden Tribios was imprisoned. The room was empty, save for 3 dolls. They were named Tribi, Trien, and Trinon. The remnant fragments left behind after all their powers were given to Tribios. From then on, wherever Tribios went, the voices of children would echo in her ears.
With the heartfelt wishes of Tribi, Trien, and Trinon, you shall possess graceful white wings, keen senses, and a direction that never leads astray. You shall leave Yanisopolis, along with the many versions of yourself hidden within your body. Transmit the Titan's prophecy to the world. Bye, Tritty.
Yeah, it's even the what if that we kind of got, where they had talked about the entire reason they killed Mortis was to have a priestess, a prophet under their control, the Holy Maiden completely under their control, imprisoned below. So to shatter the chains of her cage, to leave it, but to still have that twist, right? No matter what, she is split into 1,000 parts. Just instead of physically, it was mentally this time around. You want it up, Bobo. I know you have comfy spots out there. You'll be alright. He's shaking his collar out there. I'm like, don't start crying, Bobo. Silly kitty cat. Little Ika, you should eat less. That's amazing that they included one about Ika. Because of the veracity that the community made memes out of. This page of story comes from 8,668,666 eternal recurrence, a scientific experiment that went all the way. Imagine what would happen if an accident during Hyacinth's test of little Ika's appetite triggered its dormant gluttony gene buried deep within.
It all began with a scientific experiment.
Back then, to measure the appetite of little Ika, offspring of the winged beast, a girl named Hyacinth fed it a total of 45 wild apples. Little Ika only contributed a long, satisfied burp to the observation report, completely unaware that the girl's purse had already gone slim. Just as Hyacinth was about to end the experiment, a breeze swept by and little Ika vanished. The anxious girl plastered missing pet posters all over the grove.
It's a chubby, always hungry winged beast.
Unfortunately, none of the grove scholars knew of its whereabouts. About half a month later, Hyacinth woke up early to find little Ika at the entrance of the twilight courtyard, though it seemed a bit rounder than before. Along with it was a phantom thief's note that read, Cipher.
Thought a winged beast descendant would be worth something. Turns out it's a money pit. Such a glutton, such a glutton. In just a few days, nearly emptied my wallet. Here, take it back. We Delosians don't do money-losing deals.
Thanks, Cipher. Having little Ika back filled Hyacinth with joy, but she noticed that her winged beast companion seemed somehow different from before. So yeah, the wind, a breeze swept by. Cipher was just like, ooh, let me snatch little Ika away.
Today, it's already devoured 2 baskets of alfalfa, over a dozen wild apples, and half a bag of rice, but it's still smacking its lips at me like a hungry baby bird. This has never happened before.
The troubled Hyacinth brought little Ika to the Capriest research lab, asking the sage for a diagnosis. The sage fiddled with some instruments and buried himself in research reports, frantically searching through them. Finally, crossing his arms, he regretfully explained to Hyacinth, Little Ika has developed a rare acquired genetic mutation. Its stomach keeps mutating due to excessive food stimulation, with creating a feedback loop to the brain that amplifies its hunger. At the current rate of mutation, in a year or so, forget about your supplies. Even all the food stored in the grove combined won't be enough to satisfy its appetite.
Doot, 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 doot.
Well, it makes more like, in-game low Ika. No, I definitely can't do that noise. It's it's weird. A little bit like that. That's probably at least a little bit closer. Higher pitch for Ika for sure though. While little Ika remained carefree, Cindy's brow was clouded with worry. Looking at the rejected funding request form from the newsporists, the young girl tossed and turned before finally deciding to leave the grove with little Ika, determined to find a way to heal it, or at least keep it well fed.
Don't worry, little Ika. As long as I have a bite to eat, I'll...
What little Ika really meant was, blah blah, whatever. I'm just gonna steal that bread right out of your mouth. No, little Ika, we know you're good and wholesome. I remember that one end where Hyacinth had already passed and Ika sacrificed himself for Finon. And it's like, that was so sad. One day, the starving Hyacinth saw little Ika gobbling up rocks that rolled down from the mountain top.
No, little Ika, you can't eat those.
Strangely enough, little Ika didn't get indigestion from it, and Hyacinth suspected its diet had changed.
Could it be it awakened the ability to digest red soil? Which Droma's ancestor blessed us. I'm truly grateful for that.
For Hyacinth, this was absolutely fantastic news. It meant she no longer had to worry about feeding little Ika, and wouldn't need to wander around the world anymore. By now, the lone rider and her horse had journeyed to the edge of Amphoreus, where countless city-states had fallen to the black tide. Is little Ika going to eat the black tide?
I can't just turn a blind eye to patience now that I'm here.
But what could a mere physician do? Hyacinth rushed into the city-state engulfed by the black tide to save the surviving children, only to find herself surrounded by monsters from the black tide.
I'm sorry, little Ika, that I couldn't give you a proper meal.
No sooner had the words been spoken than little Ika, triggered by the keyword, a proper meal, immediately rushed forward and swallowed the monster's whole. By now its stature was as majestic as a dromus, and the black tide monsters seemed no more than a tart wild apple in its eyes. Before long, little Ika, burping contentedly, burst through the encirclement with Hyacinth and the shocked children in tow. Hyacinth stared up at little Ika in disbelief for a long while.
So, are you full now?
Years later, news arrived from Akama that the Twilight Knight, savior of countless city-states in times of crisis, would visit the holy city. Aglaya, leader of the Chrysosayers, personally went out to welcome her. As Aglaya focused her gaze, she spotted a familiar face atop the giant winged beast.
Hyacinthia?
Looking at Aglaya, Hyacinth's eyes welled up with tears.
Miss Aglaya, all of this, it all began with a scientific experiment.
That's definitely a more lighthearted one. What if little Ika just devoured the black tide? Yeah, instead of the daylight night, the twilight night. That's definitely a fun one. Blooming season. Letters to the Nether Realm. Oh. Castris. Polixia. This page of story comes from the 309,785th eternal recurrence, in a tranquil place where flowers bloomed. Imagine if the girl who returned to the Nether Realm wasn't completely cut off from the mortal world, and the Nether Wing, retaining Polixia's remaining sanity, ferried her back and forth across the River of Souls. Aw, because we did get that letter from Castris, but yeah, she was stuck there until the next cycle. The dragon's here! The dragon's here again! The skies of Akama suddenly darkened as the Netherwing's massive silhouette circled above the memorial market, blocking out the sun. With powerful wing beats, descended upon Kefali Plaza, leashing an earth-shattering roar. The residents frantically rushed back to their homes, retrieving items they had prepared in advance. This had clearly become the Holy City's newest custom, as people eagerly crowded around the Netherwing, afraid of being left behind. All giving gifts to those on the other side. Please, give me Morty's flower. In exchange, please take this candlelight to Lady Castris on the other shore. Me too. I'd like a few bunches of Antilla flowers to decorate my little shop. In return, I'll give you some seasonal fruits. They're super fresh, just harvested a few days ago. Or they're trading. The Netherwing lifted its wings, revealing 2 large flower baskets tucked beneath. The Holy City guards did their best to maintain order, but they couldn't hold back the enthusiastic residents. In no time at all, the flowers carried by the Netherwing were exchanged completely, with satisfied residents departing, while the baskets were filled to the brim with gifts from the Holy City's inhabitants for the demigod of death. Aw. After their busy work, Guardian Zeph and Nemosin let out a long sigh and gently patted the Netherwing's neck. Every time you've come, such a grand spectacle. You really outdone yourself, Miss Polixia. A gentle purr resonated from the Netherwing's throat. It shrugged its neck, shaking loose several letters from beneath its plated scales. Aww. Miss Castris's letter from the Netherworld. Still as weighty as ever, I see. Oh, right. There's only one reply letter for Miss Castris this time. Please keep it safe, Miss Polixia. The guards tucked the delicate... You want out now? Oh, you silly boys. Go. Yep. Go say hi to Rio. Go have some fun. You can go play with him. Sorry. To be fair, they hung around for quite a while here. And I'll cuddle up with them later. When I go to bed. They love to just come up, hang out. Though last night it was just Jack. I guess Rio decided he was comfy enough on his bed down here. The guard stuck the delicate letter behind the neck of Netherwing, who gently nuzzled the two before slowly taking flight, circling above the Marmorial Market for a moment, before flying off towards Styxia. The far shore of the River of Souls remained as tranquil as ever, yet it was not only the azure and Tilla that bloomed here. Azure? Always forget. Beneath the gentle radiance of the moon cocoon, the sea of multicolored iridescent flowers spread like a vast warm embrace, tenderly cradling the slowly descending Netherwing. At the center of the sea of flowers, a girl in white ran toward Netherwing. She was the owner of the flower shop, Spring of the Underworld.
Welcome back, Pelixia.
She wrapped her arms around Netherwing's neck.
You've brought back so many things again this time. Thank you so much.
Netherwing rumbled softly.
Let me see what replies my companion sent me. Huh, only one letter.
The girl stared blankly at the letter in her hands. Netherwing softly nudged her shoulder, urging her to open it.
In this letter, there's just a group photo taken with a photo stone. It's wrapped in golden thread. It must be Lady Aglaya's.
The moment she touched the golden thread, a vision suddenly stirred within her mind. The Chrysos heirs had gathered in the Marmorial Palace, and the white-haired youth at the front cleared his throat. Fine on. Thanks to Professor Anaxa and Lady Aglaya's joint research, the letter this time not only lets Lady Castris hear our voices, but also see our faces. Everyone, have you decided what you want to tell her? The haughty scholar was the next to speak. The alchemy matrix to reach the underworld is nearly complete. Castris, you may await the good news. Okay, Glide next. Here, let me get a drink. Just to wet the throat.
Ah, great performer is indeed a genius. If only he would speak with a little less swagger. Cass, I asked someone to drop off some clothes for you. The nether realm is cold, and even as a demigod, you need to take care of yourself,
said the blonde weaver. Probably fine on. All right, my turn. Castris, here's something fun. My day lost to me 2 weeks in a row. Next time, bring me a bunch of yellow and purple hyacinths. I remember the flower's meaning is try again after failure. Taunting him. Who would this be here? Maybe this is my day. According to the records of my family's great library, yellow and purple hyacinths mean to concede defeat. The girl burst out laughing. Then Hyacinth, Tribby, Cartonis, all those familiar faces left their precious images. She had never imagined she could read a letter this way. Netherwing lay down at the girl's side, silently watching her joys and tears, just like it had done in a distant past, blurred and half forgotten in memory. The visions woven into the golden thread slowly faded into silence. The girl leaned against the giant dragon, clutching the photo to her chest, as the west wind stirred waves across the sea of flowers.
Pelixia, let's plant more flowers. The flame chase isn't over yet. Maybe one day, my companions will come here. When that day comes, we'll be an embrace after a long parting. This gentle sea of flowers will be my truest blessing.
A gentle what if for a very gentle, caring character. He only wanted to embrace the world. No, that's really sweet. Cyreni's. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Cyreni's own. I'll be sure to put that on. Talk of heroes. Yeah, let's check here first, and then we'll check the saga. Anything to leave here? Oh, you did. Assuming the mantle of Theoros, his real name is Xandar I Kuwabara, administrator and prime mover of the Amphoreus experiment, walks the path of erudition, yet seeks to forge destruction. Of the 9 clones of Xandar, Signal, Lost, Lygus. Yep, still 8 left in the universe. Iron Tomb. The Lord Ravager that stepped onto the destruction a long process of calculation and descended from the scepter. I always forget how the fuck to pronounce this. The Iron Tomb in the cosmos is not a single entity, but a copy of the destruction equation diffused by the scepter. The Iron Tomb codename was proposed by the International Peace Corporation and eventually used by Lycus. Extrapolation reaches its end. Iron Tomb will descend upon the universe. Yeah, so this is all what we've had before, but this is new. Now fallen, vanished with scepter. Some of that is within our memories now. Within, as I've written, prime mover of life. Prime mover of life, the calculation target of the Amphoreus experiment, originally the research topic given to the scepter while it served as a neuron of the erudition. Though it was discarded, the computations continue. The calculations' nature shifted dramatically after Lygus's adjustments, turning from erudition to destruction. Admin note: clearly, the value of this topic lies in the process of seeking, not the answer itself. Thus, the prime mover of life is not a definitive conclusion, but a driving force. Directive. Complete the argument. All life-form behaviors ultimately follow the path of entropy increase. Author's note:
I hold a different view on this. I'll share my perspective in the conclusion.
Thanks, Irene. Containment measures. Admin note: to ensure secrecy, Stellaron contamination must be deployed around the scepter to block any potential interference from the external universe. In addition, use Quatorzain algebraic equations. Quatorzain algebraic. Doing great. In addition, use Quatorzain algebraic expressions and a memoria encrypted environment to fully contain experimental ripples and prevent observations by number 4, Polka Kakamond. Yeah, he was quite ruffled, I would say, Lygus, by being targeted by Polka. And she even showed up to that really, really cool meeting of geniuses, where we got to see several familiar and unfamiliar faces. Iranova. Ruins of Time. The Scepter's core layer, the repository for all discarded data not loaded into the buffer. In the eternal recurrence, Kozlana invades this area at the end of every recursive loop, attempting to disrupt the computation process. After the final Aranova is completed, the 12 factors invade this area sequentially, retrieve most of the data discarded during the 13 million recursive loops. Yeah, to not forget, to always remember. No sacrifice in vain. The recurrence. Finon. World. Nakos 496. Track. World Bearer. Prima Mobile. Hatred. Annotations. Intracognition is null. Only responds to destructive stimuli. His hatred drew the gaze of Nanook upon this individual being, proving him as having already become the most perfect factor of destruction, but he refused to complete the Era Nova. Through resetting the experiment, transferred his memories and core flame to a new self, thus forging the eternal recurrence to ensure Iron Doom would never hatch from Amphoreus. And Cyrene, track time, primo mobile, lament. A notation abnormal behavioral pattern, possessing a special emotional projection mechanism. This electrical signal autonomously records the actions of other electrical signals. The behavioral pattern aligns with the logic of remembrance. Oh yeah. I assume these annotations are by Elias. But you want me to do the voice more? I'll do the voice more, fine. Screening and recording. However, decisions often exhibit uncertain, unstable, and proactive tendencies, which is judged to be a perturbation caused by the simulated path. The reason is unknown. In actuality, it is the mind of the Demiurge. In the eternal recurrence, it embarks on a journey to record the world and return to the self. Beginning and the end. Author's note.
How wonderful! The final ripple nourished the great tree, allowing it to bear a pink peach.
Peach, her nickname for Cyrene. Oh, a lot here. Eternal recurrence. A recursive feedback loop triggered by two signal clusters within the scepter computation, designed to stall the experiment. Nikos 496 wielded the power of destruction to erase Philia 093's existence from Amphoreus, introducing a logic breach in the track of time, and regress the extrapolation process. Philia 093, using the catalyst to remembrance, returns to the great tomb of the nameless Titan to load the 12 factors of data for the sleeping Demiurge. In the 33,550,336 recursive loop, due to external variable interference, the Demiurge is aroused, and the eternal recurrence is broken. The experiment enters its final phase. Hero Within. A heroic figure born from the imaginations of Nikos 496 and Philia 093 is believed to be a sign of approaching the intelligent singularity, as the two begin to learn what it meant to be a real life form, try to reach that goal. After the Astral Express arrived, the hero within began to converge with the Trailblazer. Their ideal. In actuality, it is Trailblazer in the memory of Cyrene. When the Demiurge looked back, brought its memory of the deliverer to Nikos 496 and Philia 093. All about that loop. Author's note.
If the scenery in your memory is blurred, reach out and touch it. Then let it become the strength of the soul once more.
Forgotten Years. Records are completely missing from Scepter's logs, presenting as blank spaces in Amphoreus' history, never turning readable. These anomalies recur sporadically and randomly across recurrences, show signs of increase. Verified to be caused by the electrical signal Philia 093 and the invading variables March 7th and Ember Night. All lost records have returned, thanks to Trailblazer's upload action at the Great Tomb of the Nameless Titan. Great Tomb of the Nameless Titan. The abandoned kernel layer manifested due to the influence of the Remembrance, referred to as the Great Tomb of the Nameless Titan by Evernight, the birthplace of the Demiurge, abandoned after Stellaron contamination. Which we saw that, the destruction, when we were with Scrulum and Herda. Mem! An unrecorded electrical signal is attached to the external variable Trailblazer and grows through the path of remembrance. In actuality, it is the amnesiac Demiurge. That moment of realization of how truly infinite in loops. Amphoreus was. Demiurge, Scepter's original extrapolation goal, to nurture a life form with an ego, fell into a long slumber due to contamination by the Stellaron. Influenced by Philia 093, it embarked on the path of remembrance in its sleep. It later awoke due to the arrival of Trailblazer and became Mem, the Momo sprite that became attached to him. And even within the Scepter's name, 13 flame chasers. At the end of the 33,550,336 recursive loop, its appearance changed to that of Philia 093, but the matrix memory data was lost. At the end of the 33,550,337th recursive loop, sounds like the kitty cats are playing out there, it retrieved its lost memories. The Great Tomb of the Nameless Titan reverted to its original appearance. During the Battle of Amphoreus, as Iron Doom swept across the stars, the Demiurge was nourished by uncountable memories, became the pure child of Anasarava. Which, oh man, touching on that, the fact that there's more out there and they all have essentially the potential to become remembrance, to become fully, and maybe already have become fully, given the fuckery of time and loops and cycles within starrail now. Or, either become fully, or all who were once fully and then shattered. To close the causality loop and anchor the fact of Iron Doom's demise, it embarked on a journey of backward gaze. With the Demiurge's echo as a cradle, the newborn Amphoreus was born from the memory zone. The experiment on the prime mover of life was successful. The Demiurge itself vanished along with the scepter, its consciousness transformed into Philia 093 at the origin of time. Its root cause is the discarded assignment, non-destruction symbiotic micro-probability. Without administrator intervention, this assignment would lead to the 13th factor: track, genesis, primum mobile, love, simulated path, trailblaze. Sirenes. Genesis. Origin and finality. Very Elysia coded. Love. And specifically trying to be a trailblazer. Trailblaze. It's really cool. Going towards the future. Ripples of past reverie. The chaotic substance enveloping Amphoreus is in actuality the memory of the pure child of Anasarava, the Demiurge. Ripples of past reverie swept through time, leaving numerous gaps, and the Demiurge chose to sacrifice itself and look back at Amphoreus. The cause of the gaps was filled by the result, and causality was closed. The memory of all those cycles resulted in the ripples of past reverie. All of Sirene's record keeping. World-cleansing blood. Imaginary internal energy aggregate, whose energy level and nature are similar to those of an emanator of destruction. Nikos 496 obtained it by generating a momentary burst from 400 million core flames, allowing contact with Nanook in the path space. During the Battle of Amphoreus, became key to destroying Iron Doom's physical form and all its duplicates. After the battle was handed over to Planet Screwum and the Shinjo Alliance for joint containment. Well, that's probably smart. Yeah, get Screwum involved, for sure. Yeah, so that's why the scepter disappeared. Why is this still popping up? Oh, no, eternal recurrence in general, which we're still within, yeah. Intrusion variables, temporary log of external variables that interfere with the experiment. We did do that quite a bit. Yep. All this is the same. It's go this onward, I believe. In the 33,550,337th recursive cycle, this entity assumed the vacant world-bearing track. At one point, this entity was imprisoned by Evernight, but successfully neutralized the threat at the end of the recursive cycle, preventing the catastrophic purging of experimental data. Through the final Era Nova process, Trailblazer created the final cycle of Amphoreus, completed the world-bearing trial, the end of the Era Chrysae, ascended to a Titan, and subsequently, together with the other Titans, faced Iron Doom in the core layer of the Scepter. During the Battle of Amphoreus, Trailblazer received a glimpse by Noose, proving that Trailblaze might be the key variable for negating destruction, create new possibilities. At the end of the experiment, the conclusions regarding Trailblazer and Trailblaze traverse the past due to the Demiurge's choice, becoming the starting point of Amphoreus' memory and assigning the initial logic value to the Scepter, a micro-probability of non-destruction symbiosis. Author's note:
Executing override command granted access to Trailblazer. Flip open the book. I'll be waiting for you in the past.
Thanks, Cyrene. Non-destruction. Third choice. March 7th, Evernight. Anomalous. Yeah. And the 33,550,337th recursive loop, she took over the vacant time path, secretly manipulating the Titan and guiding Trailblazer's group to advance Era Nova. Speculated objective: interfere with Era Nova's progress, clear Scepter data, terminate the experiment. Evernight for sure, yeah. At the end of the loop, she voluntarily entered slumber, enabling March 7th to complete Time's trial, reclaiming the future. In the final cycle, March 7th ascended as a Time Titan, joining the other Titans in the Scepter's core to face Iron Doom, and together they prevailed. We did indeed! Yeah, I believe the rest of this onward was new. I don't think this was. Anomalous. Still could be veracity.